All right. So this was the first 6B I sent at Oslo Klatresenter. Impressionistically, I've sent harder routes, even much harder routes at some other gyms that have color grading. But this is my first official 6B. And as you can tell, the route is fairly straightforward, and I think the main reason it's graded 6B is because this wall is pretty overhung. You might not be able to tell from this angle, but you'll see in a second when I cut my feet how far away I swing from the wall. Here. And then again, in a few seconds, when I jump off the wall, you can see how far away I land. So if this was a vertical wall, this route would probably be like 5+ at most. All right, so this was not a flash. This was actually my 5th attempt, and I managed to record all of my attempts for this route. So what I want to do now is go over all these attempts and explain why the first 4 attempts were unsuccessful and how I learned from them to be able to actually sand this route. So, okay, attempt number 1. I was actually pretty confident when approaching this route. I thought I could maybe even flash it because it looked so straightforward. But again, the trick here is that the wall is overhung. So you need much more body tension and you need to be much more careful with your body positioning because otherwise you're just not going to stay on the wall. So what happened here is I just couldn't figure out how to do the second move. So here I realized that I need to push with my right foot real hard, okay? But then what? I try locking off my left arm with my hips square here, but I can't hold this position, not on this wall. So eventually at the very end, I do find a position that I think is stable enough with my left hip turned in and my left arm pretty straight. And I think that I can actually go for the high hold with my right arm from there. But by this moment, my grip starts giving out, so I bail. But I do want to check if I can actually do this second move, if my hunch is right. So I immediately go for another attempt without any intention to finish it because, again, my hands are getting sweaty and I'm a bit tired, but I just want to check if I can do the move. And I can. And see how I first go for a mash on this lower hold? I don't actually start pulling with my right hand here, but you'll see this pseudo mash in all these subsequent attempts, including the final successful one, because going for this mash was actually helping me get into the right position for the next move, so this is why I was doing it. And you'll see that even on this final successful attempt, this move is still very far from being smooth. I still spend a lot of time getting into position. I still haven't nailed it down. And here I do in fact go for the next move too, just to check that my intuition about how to do it is correct. And it is. But at this point I'm too tired and I bail. And again, I wasn't going for a sand on this second attempt anyway. So I decided to take a proper rest before I try again. And so attempt number 3, after I rested, and again you see I'm struggling on the second move. And what happens here eventually is I just slip. Maybe I wasn't digging in with my toes hard enough or something, I don't know. But anyways, I immediately go for another attempt. I just chalk up a little more and just go for it immediately. And it is much better. First move is smooth. Second move is not, but I managed to do it eventually. Third move's looking pretty good. And so on this next move, I become very aware of how much I need to dig in with my left foot to be able to stay on the wall. So I do it very deliberately. A bit of hesitation here. I try to match first on the handhold, but it isn't helpful at all. And I should have noticed that there's like no chalk on the underside of this hold, so no one's actually matching on it. No one who's competent enough to get to this point anyway. But I do realize I need to flag with my left leg. But see how timid and passive this flag is? On the next and final attempt, you'll see that I'm flagging much more, and I'm actually pushing against this other wall with my left foot. So the move becomes much easier. And so here I once again hesitate about how to do the final move. And I do realize at the end that I need to once again flag with my left leg and reach with my right arm. But I'm too tired at this point and I'm lacking confidence, so I jump off the wall. But I do know at this point what I need to do to finish this route. So now let's rewatch the fifth and final successful attempt with all this knowledge at our disposal. Again, still hesitating on the second move. Still need to go for the pseudo match to get into the right position. Next move is smooth. Here, see, this is what I was talking about. A more confident, active flag pushing against this other wall makes this move much easier. And if I were to do this route again, I would probably flag even more aggressively to make it even smoother. And I do the same thing for the finish. And I was thinking at first that I might need to be more dynamic here, kind of swing into the hold, but that wasn't necessary. This was a pretty static reach. As soon as my left flag was in place, I was able to get to the final hold fairly easily. And then I accidentally cut my feet before I can match on the final hold, but the handholds are good, so I stay on the wall. I match, and then I jump off. So there you have it, my first official 6B. Again, pretty straightforward. Most of the challenge just comes from it being overhung, but I'm glad I recorded all of the attempts. It was pretty instructive going over them and analyzing my mistakes and how I fixed them. And that's it. All right, peace.